Welcome back to the Buck Junkie Podcast, where we talk about our favorite thing. That's hunting deer.
Shooting bucks.
Shooting bucks. Guys, what's going on today?
Man, wish we wasn't sitting at the office.
We
got bucks chasing does everywhere, and we're up here in the office.
The rut is on. It's got it, man. It's probably, I would say it's peak.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's probably finna taper off.
Yeah. We'll get a second one usually right around Christmas, so it usually slows down. Is regular rifle season come back in this weekend? Do y'all know?
It usually runs two full weeks.
A muzzleloading, a primitive weapon, they call it.
Weapon.
Private land, though, you can use that any caliber. So
yeah.
At 300 muzzleloader, that's one I like to use. Wind mag version.
Bolt action.
Yeah, I like that law in Mississippi since they changed it. Any of y'all still hunt with black powder?
Heck yeah.
You did.
I
Jamie,
did over the weekend.
Did you? You fired at anything yet?
Negative.
A piece of paper.
Yeah, I got to go before I can fire. I've been too busy.
Yeah.
I hadn't even shot mine probably in 5 or 6 years.
I got one in the gun cabinet, but I hadn't fired in a while either.
I enjoy it. I just hate the whole cleaning. Like, if you didn't have to clean one, I would love hunting with one, but
don't put one of them up without getting that
it's
Pyrex out
stinkiness, sulfur smell. Man.
Oh, mine shoots good dirty.
Does it? The dirtier the better.
It does, for real.
Tightens them riflings up.
Old dirty.
Well,
So me and Mikey was out last week.
Yeah, y'all left us high and dry up here.
I got invited on a little Texas trip. Mikey was. What were you doing? The shooting?
Yeah,
contest?
we went down to. So Michael and Will are in this shooting sports that just got started. You know, and me and you involved in that a little bit, and there's some other people that's really, did a lot of hard work to put this together. So it's a youth sport, and DeSoto County youth shooting team. And it's a private club team. They're trying to get this into the schools, and this was the qualifying round for state. So your son, Michael, went down, and Will wasn't. He had state test that day, and we didn't know if he's going to get to shoot or not because ours is not in the school yet. So the kids
miss a day.
That's right. So you miss a day, an unexcused day for going to shoot at this tournament. And so anyways, he texted me about, I don't know, it was about noon. We supposed to be there at 1:30.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done with the test. Do you care if I go shoot? And I was like, doggone, I'm going to have to rush to get him. So unexpectedly, I ran out of here and grabbed him and took him down to Sardis and let him shoot. So
Did y'all make it in time?
We made it in time.
Man,
we
you
did.
was rolling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had her laid back.
Yeah.
But anyways, the kids, this first year for them doing that. This first year for DeSoto County have a team. So there's not been a lot of coaching and a lot of practice and stuff like that. So I don't think we had a qualifying team from DeSoto County, but that's okay. I mean, this is the first year. It's just practice, and it's just getting the awareness about what they're doing and, getting people to understand what this is all about. And
that's what I liked about it. I wish they had something like that when I was at school.
No kidding.
Man, to get to go shoot sport and clay courses, and they start them at, I think you can be 12 is the earliest age.
I think so.
They call that JV. So that would be 7th grade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 7. I think it runs 7th through senior year. So hopefully next year we got some school teams.
Yeah, they're talking about breaking it out. Like each school in the DeSoto County District will have their own team. Right now it's 2 teams of 12. So they do a JV 12 teams.
Yeah.
And they do a varsity 12 teams. They break them up, 3-person teams. It's co-ed too.
It's co-ed.
Boys and girls. Anybody can shoot. You don't even have to qualify to be on the team.
And that,
you have to do. What do you have to do? Get your hunter's education.
You have to have a hunter's education. You had to take the hunter's education course. You had to have that, and that's really all you had to have. Once you get that, you're allowed to shoot in this. In this program.
I thought that was so when we did hunter's education, I'm sure, Jamie, you don't know about you, Mark. Ours was in school. Like it was part of our 9th grade civics class or local Mississippi State government class. They spent 1 week doing hunter safety, and you got to shoot BB guns at the end of that week. And I think they took that out of all the schools now. I don't know any of them.
See, I don't know. We didn't have that, did we?
No, I did not.
I know I didn't.
No, and I don't understand that. Y'all were in South Haven.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't have it down here in Hernando. More rural area in Hernando than it was.
You had to voluntarily sign up. When I done it, they took it at the National Guard Armory where we took that.
Really? Where'd you do yours?
Right here down on 51. I don't know what that building is.
Extension office?
Yeah.
I took him down there.
I see some signs posted now they're doing churches.
Yeah, churches do it.
They do them a 1-day thing now, ain't it?
It's two class days.
Yeah, it's 2 class days. You have to go 2 class. That's why we kind of dodged that one because it was on. I think it was on 2 Saturdays, and you did part of it one Saturday, and then came back the next Saturday and done it. It was almost full 8 hours both days.
But there's not a shooting qualification now, right?
I don't think so because when you do it online, you don't have one.
Yeah. When I took it, I don't know if you had to you didn't have to shoot a certain score. But they wanted to prove that you could do firearm safety.
Not shoot nobody with a BB gun.
With the BB gun, yeah.
Oh, shit, we had 22s. We didn't have BB guns.
I think we shot BB guns, which we were in the smack dab middle of town, too. So
yeah.
Oh, we had I'm pretty sure at the National Guard Armory, they had an indoor thing. We shot 22s inside.
We shot the old Red Ryder.
Yeah.
Cock.
Oh, single cock.
Yeah, well, I thought I was going to fail if I didn't hit the paper. So when I went out there to get my target, I poked 2 holes in it.
You took the old pencil, old turkey
dead in the bullseye, and I brought it back to the game board and he said, "You did pretty good." Yep.
Yeah.
Did real good.
Pretty good.
Couldn't hit nothing with that.
I had that arch just right. Well, you had to aim it. Hey, I see Mark's deadly with a dead-gun BB gun. We were sitting on your back porch one day. I forget what kind of bird it was that popped up there. And you said, "What's it?"
We probably don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
That gun
was a sparrow or something.
Yeah, that gun's potent though. I mean, it's not like it's not like a Walmart gun we had as kids. No.
Oh, you talking about that high-powered one?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, he was hitting them with a regular BB gun.
No, that.
You probably had Mama's gun. That one she used, a red one.
You talking about when we cooked the brisket at the house? I shot it off the back porch.
No, this was another time you were shooting it. It might have been at my house. I can't remember.
I see now it was drinks involved
before
they shot BB guns. Yeah.
No, I done that.
It was Michael's BB gun.
That was at your house.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Man, that's all. That's what we were talking about this the other day. Like me and my good friend Hunter, when we was kids, like if it wasn't hunting season, we woke up in the morning, we put full on camouflage on, took the pellet rifle, and we went bird hunting.
Yeah.
And I mean, we done that every weekend. But
some of the worst trouble I ever got in was a kid was shooting.
Man, I shot a red bird one time. Woo!
We had done figured out. We punched a screen out in the bedroom. We baited them up with some bread
out the window.
Me and Waylon, we couldn't have been 5 and 6 years. I was 6, he was 5. We got Red Ryder BB guns the year before for Christmas, and man, we was wearing them out. We had to take them Kroger sack full.
I know.
My mama got home, had all these birds. Where'd you get all them birds, boy? So we shot them back in March.
See, that's a good thing. My grandmother, she kept 4 or 5 bird feeders going, so it was pretty much baited up.
Yeah, it was baited up.
We were not allowed to hunt birds in the yard. Mom wouldn't let us do it.
we
could hunt them outside the yard.
As long as it wasn't a red bird.
Well, my dad didn't care because it's crapping all over the vehicle. So he's like, kill them birds. I don't care.
Yeah, red bird's the only thing we couldn't do. Other than that, you're good.
Yeah, I would never kill a red bird.
Like the Boone Crockett of bird hunting was one of them big old breasted robins. They'd be out there in the front yard just strutting. But
them little, I call them Tweety birds. I don't know what they are. They're pretty hard to hit. They're fast and small.
Little black and white chickadees.
Yeah,
they're the brown sparrows.
It's little sparrows is what I always call them. I don't know. We call them Tweety birds, but
the
ones you see when you dove hunt that are
probably endangered species.
Yeah. Shooting a neighbor's parakeet or something.
But no,
better not get out.
While y'all were out gallivanting around, we held the fort down here.
Y'all did an episode last week.
We did. We had Rob Hoff and Chris Gerner, I believe his name was, come from. Rob works down at the Corps, and I guess Chris does too. But
he's park ranger, right?
Yeah.
Rob is.
And kind of discuss the physically challenged hunt. Me and Jamie. Jamie's been helping with it. Shoot, you've been down there probably 6-7 days.
No. Yeah, I was 3 days last week and 3 days the week before last.
So I mean, you've been busy. I went down there that Friday and helped, and we kind of talked about that, and that's something that it was a very good topic. And we tried to get across what we experienced with it by going and participating and being a part of it, but until you do it, there's no way to get that across.
The biggest thing with that is people really don't. I don't think many people know about it to even get behind it. As far as support goes, but it's like there's not many of those in the country.
No, there's not.
Where people can come and do it.
Not government wise or or that public land or open to the public.
Yeah.
No, it's not. This is all 100% nonprofit. It does not cost the hunters anything other than fuel to get there, and if they stay in a hotel, but that's the only expense side of the hunter. All the food, side by sides were donated, or people loaned out theirs to get from camp to the stands.
There were several campers donated, and
yeah, I mean we had. It's busy.
That's a great place to be hunting too. It's like closed, restricted hunting to everybody else.
Yeah,
the only time you hunt there is those 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. So that's what Rob was saying is like that's the only time that property gets hunted, and that's their way to manage the herd on that property. They got a quota they have to meet. He said otherwise the biologists have to come in and they have to let them lay.
Yeah,
you can't use the meat.
What they do when they get those like depredation tags or whatever, and they have to shoot them, they just leave them.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's just such a waste. Do you think they could donate it to the bank or something?
Restrictions, I guess, and government guidelines you got to attain to.
It's a bunch of crocs.
Well, if they donated it to somebody and it got sick or something, you never know how you could prove it. They could say,
yeah, that's.
But there's a ton of do you remember riding through? I know you grew up down there, Eudora.
Yeah,
you could ride down through there in the summertime and the evenings, and man, deer were
everywhere.
Dodge them
Like Cage Cove.
Yeah, they were up in the campgrounds. Like you can see them up in the campgrounds.
That was before they started all that hunting and stuff. Now
that was when it was overpopulated.
Yeah, it was.
How many years did they tell you? How many years that been going on?
30.
Oh wow, no way.
Yep.
That's a long time.
But I mean, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know the exact numbers from Rob and them, but I don't know how many people 30 years ago, how many
if it was full.
Yeah, they had 500 or 600. Right. I imagine it started out as like a local thing, but now they have people come from all over.
Yeah, we had California, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee. That's all I know of for sure.
So do they require those hunters to have like full blown out of state?
No, you don't.
Hunt license and all that stuff. No. It's special. It's special privilege.
Just use a.
Well, handicap Mississippi. I don't think you have to have a license anyway if you prove you're handicapped.
I don't think so.
Yeah, disabled or handicap or over 65.
So, yeah.
I mean,
that's a good thing.
It's definitely something to see.
How many deer you think they killed? Did you get a number?
I can't remember the exact numbers. I want to say it was 30 something total. It was a little slow this year compared to the year before last.
And I think 30 is their minimum quota.
I can't remember what Rob said the number was. They have a biology come in and say, we need to harvest this amount of deer off the property for the year.
Bucks and does.
Right. And it was
several good bucks killed.
3 or 4 real good deer killed off it this year.
How bad was that gut pile?
I got a tough stomach. I can see or smell anything as long as I do not get it on my hands. And that was that was tough.
You didn't get none on you, did you?
No, but that smell was pretty rough.
Was there a bunch of gut shooting going on too?
They actually made pretty good shots on deer this year. But you got to understand some of these people. I mean, it's not like us. I mean, you just don't throw the gun out the window and shoot. It takes them.
It's a little bit to get everything set up.
It's a lot to get set up and get that person on the deer.
Did they provide like special equipment like the bog chair
that bog chair is bad to the bone?
It's got it's got the I guess built-in
shooting rest
on it that swings.
So this year, all the stands all the ones I went to had like a gun vise made on the stand that swiveled. It just you don't realize how much it takes into account that it just say this guy he set up his wheelchair different than this other guy. So all the stand, Robin and all the rangers put a ton of time on what guy to put in what stand.
Yeah,
it's not like you just go put them in there because everybody don't fit the stand.
And he said they had a couple stands that were set up to where almost like a garage door, like you pull the side by side in,
and they stay in
closed, and you stay in the side by side.
I want to do some research on the hay bale blind. See how good it'd be. Just somebody's like in a track chair. Track chairs are very, very heavy, but we can get the track chair out there and get them set up and basically put the blind over them.
Mikey is the mobile blind expert. You can probably
I can fix them up. You give me all the track chair guys next year. I'm gonna fix them up.
I'll have them.
Oh yeah, I'll have them brushed in.
Brushed in.
I got a goal for next year. I got a goal I'm gonna set for next year.
It definitely
we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, because it's a good opportunity. I mean, it's neat. Like it's. There's a ton of work that gets put in there. A lot of them guys like Jamie and a lot of other people spent their whole weekend, the last 2 weekends down there. I mean, it's a ton of work, but it doesn't feel like work.
I've never seen them I've never seen them raise funds for it or anything.
It's pretty much just volunteer donations. I mean, it is put on Facebook, but I mean, it's not commercial. It's not commercialized.
What's their group called?
Arkabutla Physically Challenged.
Okay,
you can go.
And how many hunters did they do?
35.
Yeah, I think there's 33 total stands. Some stands you'll have. Well, majority is, you might have 2 people in there. Husband and wife, or dad and kid, or something like that. To help them out. But,
do y'all guide them too?
No. I mean, if they needed somebody to sit with them, yes. But majority of them, they're pretty comfortable on their own.
I think they said total this year was 73.
Yeah, it might be.
It was 2 weekends. They break them up 30 one weekend, 35 the next.
They let the hunters stay for the whole weekend if you want to, or you only get one sit.
The weekend you stay for the whole weekend, but you're not hunting 2 weekends in a row. They break it up to a whole nother group the second weekend.
Give more people.
Right.
Yeah, and it is some guys. Just say some guys couldn't make it. couldn't make it the second weekend. Some of the guys from the first weekend, if where they can stay over and hunt the second weekend.
Y'all clean the deer for them and everything.
Yeah.
Set them home with it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They do that. They get all the meat together. They take all the jaw bones. They do all the samples. And that's what I was talking to Rob about. It's more of a, yes, it's a great thing, for these guys and for everybody participating in it. But it's also great for the Corps because they really get a good number on what they got. Check the herd, check the genes. They go through all the process of the biology side of it. Yeah. So it's pretty neat, and it's operation, no doubt.
Did you see any guys we know like John? Was he down there or anything from the state?
No, I didn't see him down there.
They have some biologists on.
Kevin was down there.
No, I don't think Kevin didn't make it.
He was down there the first weekend.
He might have been first weekend. Yeah, he was first weekend. Last weekend didn't make it. No, it's we got the game wardens to come in and check on stuff too. We got several guys like his. I didn't get the guy's name, Ranger, but he's mounted deer before, so he knew how. Somebody that killed deer wanted to mount. He had it caped out. Got all the measurements for him. They're good to go. So it's definitely a lot involved in it.
Do they take their deer back with them?
Some do, yeah.
Some states won't allow you to bring deer across state lines.
Yeah, and then something like that. We all
if it's off the bone, you can.
Right. Yeah. And we would some guys this is the only time they get to hunt. So
so they're counting on that meat.
We'd actually like say box it up for them in coolers, or if they wanted to donate it back, we'd actually cook it for it and cook it and eat it at the camp.
So speaking of getting on the board,
hey,
you filled in all the check marks.
Yeah. Well, let's see, was it last week before I went out of town? I slipped off and hunted one day by myself.
Yeah, you done us dirty on that one.
We talked about
y'all. Y'all can go whenever y'all want. The boss is really lax on y'all going hunting or not. We have an open hunting policy here at where we went.
I didn't win the cook-off deal, so I should have went hunting, I guess.
Yeah. Because that's the day.
That was the dessert day.
I don't bake. I sit in the stand.
I'd hate for you to get beat again. It'd be all right.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm fine with that. I'd trade shooting a buck for cooking in a contest any day.
Daggum right.
Any day.
We'll remember that next go around.
I knew the rut was kicked off. We'd been seeing signs of it. It started back from seeing scrapes and rubs, and man, me and Mark were riding down by the pond. We hadn't told y'all about this. We found a battle zone.
You ain't lying.
Man, they
look like you got a tiller in the bushes.
They've got an arena down there where they have rubbed up every tree. It's like UFC style. It's got to be going on right there, and it's in that little thicket right on I guess that'd be the east side of the pond.
Yeah,
in between the woods and where the stand is over there. Like you wouldn't see it from the stand.
Oh, so it's back down there, back in
where we filmed that first little rub tree.
Okay,
they have turned that whole thing, and
they done knocked all the weeds back, grass. It's down to mud.
Looks like you turned some goats loose in there. For real, it is wiped out. And they're not eating it; they're just from where they're tussling. But that'd be a good start. We need to move a camera down there.
Yeah,
we
got to move some cameras this week.
We're going to talk about that later on.
I could get like hands-on view tomorrow.
There's a place to climb. Mark's done
already found a tree.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, that would be a good spot because you're catching them on a ridge. But I said I was going hunting. I went I don't like to go by myself, but I did because I knew it was fixing to be hot, and I went down there and I got down there. I don't know. It was like 7 a.m. It was a little too late to go get in the stand that morning, so I did some work. Had a phone call I had to do that morning, but it was like I was through my phone call by 11:30, and I said, "Man, normally this is when we're getting down. Go grab a bite of lunch to go back and hunt in the afternoon." I said, "I'm going to the stand," and I was in the stand by 11:45, and it was maybe 12:30. Maybe been sitting there 45 minutes, and I saw one of the biggest deer that I've seen on our place. I saw him cut across on the far right side where the woods come back together before you get to the ditch. By the time I saw him, he was halfway across the field before I could get the gun out the window. I'd had my binoculars on him and said, "Man, he's a big one." And so he dipped off, and I think I texted
you. Did when you texted me that? I told Jamie or Mikey or somebody we were sitting up there. I was like, "He's killing a deer today."
So I was only planning on sitting, for a little while, but I ended up staying until dark. Well, I ended up staying until after dark because I was waiting on you. But I sat there and watched deer chase all day. I don't know how many little bucks I saw chasing doe. Every time a doe come out in the field, there'd be a buck bust out after her. And then I knew right at the end. It was about, I guess it was 4:15. I was watching some does and another little buck on the opposite end of the field, and something caught my eye on the left. And a doe busted out across the little retention pond. I said, something's running her. And sure enough, there come that 10-point. And he was right behind her. I let him get out to about the middle of that field where Jamie left some of that tall grass kind of in the middle. As soon as he cleared that, I put the powwow on him. Stopped him in his tracks.
What did you shoot him with?
308. Michael's 308. I don't even know why I took that gun this morning. I guess he hadn't shot nothing with it. And I said, I'm going to take it.
How'd
see
it
if shoot, man, that Tika 308 is a tack driver. Heck, yeah. It's got, that SIG scope we put on it? Yeah. It's not even an expensive scope, but that joker's clear. And it broke him down. He didn't go nowhere.
That stand this year has been phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's all, like I say, it's a guarantee, but you're not going to get bored sitting there.
No, it's a lot to watch, too. It's a fun stand to hunt. But, so after I shot that deer, and there's a field full of turkey out there. They hung out. The other deer were still running around. One buck come down there and checked him out. Like I don't know if I was a sparring partner, if his buddy or what, but he come all the way down the field. I told you
chasing that tail's going to get you in trouble.
All the way down the field, sniffed around him, and he ran off. And there was still a lot of turkey out there. Well, about straight out from where we have the blind on the eco edge out there were some turkeys milling around. They flushed and flew back to me. I said, man, what's making these? There ain't one thing gonna make turkeys fly like that. It's a predator. And sure enough, I got to watch it. I didn't know if it was gonna be a bobcat or coyote, but a coyote popped out and he was beelining towards my deer. I let him get out there. He wasn't too close. I let him get about 50 yards, and I put the smack down on him too. So I had a coyote and that buck same evening, and that was a couple days before I went to Texas on that hunt.
4 coyotes we've killed so far.
4. Killed 3 off. 3 off that property and 1 off the one behind the house.
I've killed 2, and you've killed 2.
I've killed 2,
and I shot at a third one.
They which I hadn't seen them.
We've kind of checked them back a little.
Yeah, they're slowed down on the cameras as far as what we've been seeing.
I think if you shoot at them enough, even if you hit them or not, they're going to quit coming around. Coyotes are smart, man. They're not
stupid. They're
really not easy to kill.
I didn't hear them the other night. Well, I stayed there.
I didn't hear them either.
Single one. And usually every time you hear them.
Maybe we run them off. They like running them ditches. Now, we heard them. Me and Mikey heard them on the other property over on Cypress.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for one over there the other night. Man, we got down there last weekend. It was after we'd been doing all that raining. Deer aren't doing nothing. They kind of shut down a little bit in the evenings, but in the mornings they are still smoking hot.
Mid morning, late morning, they've been working.
Which we saw a bunch. Was it Sunday evening we hunted?
Yeah,
we saw a bunch. But I went to Texas, and that was my first trip hunting in Texas, and it lived up to its name. Man, we had so much fun. It was we were it was a high fence. It was like a private high fence. It's not like a commercial ranch.
Yeah.
So the guy that owned it, I think it was like, I don't know how many acres. I think they said like 4,500, something like that, high fence. And it was like mountains. I mean, we were like 2 hours other side of San Antonio, and I had never been in terrain like that. Everything had a thorn. You wasn't walking through it. It was all rocks and, up and down, big hill. They call it hill country, but to me it's mountains. I wouldn't want to just have to climb one, But we rode around. They would take you to your stand in these Toyota trucks. They had Tacomas, and they had them outfitted up like you was on African safari. Had the thing across the bed. They had like 2 boat seats. You could set up in the back. Had a gun rest on top. And I didn't ride around shoot anything. They had some side-by-sides, but they didn't like running them. I don't know if it's just because of the weather, because it was nasty there too. It was a week here that it kind of rained, and
every picture you sent, it looked like just a heavy, dense fog and wet.
It was. It made visibility was tough. Like there was only a few times I hunted where I could actually see the mountains, because when I could, it was cool. You saw all kinds of animals like walking the trails up on the sides of them. But the way they do it there's no, like, I don't know what the deer would look like if they depended on the natural vegetation. They would be the scrawniest little runt deer. So they protein feed year round. They run these big protein feeders, and I don't know how many they had on the place. I think there was about 8 stands that I saw that all had a protein feeder. And then I guess in early October, they bring out the corn feeders to go with that. And so I guess the corn feeders just draw stuff in, because you would hunt in a blind, within eyesight of a feeder. And I've never really hunted over bait like that. I mean, a little bit in Mississippi when we could, but I've never just where the animals know that it's going off 2 times in the morning, 2 times in the afternoon. So as long as you're sitting down, something's coming.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is, there wasn't no guarantees that we were going to see anything. But I shot like the first morning. As soon as we got there on a Sunday. You get up 5:15, get out in the stand. While it's still dark, they drop you off. You got a guide with you. And
he sits with you the whole time.
Sits with you the whole time. And they're kind of judging. They want to make sure you're shooting. You can shoot. Well, first he says that people that have been to this place, he said most of the time they're not really good shots. So I didn't feel too bad if I missed or anything. I was like, well, I ain't the best shot either, but I'm decent, And so I didn't take a gun. I used his gun. He had a bad gun, man. It was like a suppressed, fierce 300 Win Mag with the Night 4 scope. I mean, it was rigged. It was rigged out,
So none of y'all carried guns, or they all supplied?
Jeff took his, but they flew in their own. Plane. I flew commercial, so I didn't want to check the gun. Yeah. I figured. I mean, I ain't got anything super fancy. Like my gun, in a third of the cost of what that dude's gun was. I think that gun's probably like $4,000. Yeah. Just the rifle, the scope on it's a couple grand. I don't know what a suppressor costs, but I imagine
another grand.
Yeah. He got some money tied up in his. But we sat down, and we got in there before dark. And as soon as it starts to daybreak a little bit, I see a beast of a deer. I'm like, man, I ain't been here 5 minutes, and I've already seen a big buck. Well, he didn't really come close, and it really wasn't. I mean, we couldn't judge him enough to see if he was a shot, because on this place, it's like when you shoot one, you got to pay a trophy fee. And the people I went with is like, I had $5,000, I could play with. And that's a pretty good buck.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to screw up $10,000. So, but I didn't see anything that big. I mean, the deer, I did shoot one whitetail that was 153 inches. And that's the biggest deer I've ever shot in my life. I've never shot. Deer. Oh yeah, it's a big deer. He's a nice deer. And I also got to shoot a trophy fallow deer. It's a fallow buck. It was a chocolate fallow, and they've been hunting this buck for 3 years. That's how, low pressure it is. Like, they've had people that have been wanting to kill him and come back, and they've never seen him. They knew he was there, and he would come. Like, they say those fallow deer don't like to go to the feeders. They mainly stay up in the mountains. So to kill them, you got to kind of go up. Well, when I was sitting there, I guess it was the second evening, we saw something coming, and the guy was like, man, I think that's a fallow buck we've been looking for. And sure enough, he broke out through some of these mesquite trees and come out. But as soon as he got in the eyesight of the blind, I don't know if he could see us or what, before we could get the gun out the windows, I was going to shoot him. It was awesome. Yeah. He broke out. And I was like, well, and the guide's like, well, we can come back here tomorrow, but there ain't no guarantee that buck's going to come back, because that's the first time that he's actually seen him in a stand. They've seen him riding around and stuff. And so we went back the next morning, and dadgum, if that buck didn't come out again, and I saw him coming, so I had time to get the gun out the window and wait on him. And he didn't go to the feeder. He was just kind of moving through some of the scrub, and I put a good shot on him, stopped him. So
how big is a fallow deer? Is it about the same size as a whitetail?
They didn't weigh them, but no, it was way bigger.
It was way bigger.
Yeah, this one was. If I had to guess how much it weighed, I'd say it's over 300 pounds.
Dadgum.
It's a pretty good size animal. Big. Yeah, it's a pretty good size animal.
I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but he looked good.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of crossed between, I don't know, it's got paddles, like big palmated horns on it, kind of like a moose, but they go vertical, and then it's got points everywhere. And then he's got like eye guards that come out kind of like an elk. So it was pretty cool. Normally they're white, like solid white, so you can spot them when they're on the mountains pretty good moving around, or they'll have some spots on it. Well, this one was just a solid chocolate color, and they said that's kind of rare. That's why it was
hard to kill.
Yeah, hard to kill.
I don't know what I do on a hunt like that. So the very first day a deer comes out, do you want to?
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. Do you
want to take your chances and 2 more days and hopefully something bigger, or?
That's what I was thinking too, Jamie. I was like, man, if I'm seeing that deer, what's the potential of what I'm really going to see? And I didn't know, because they've supposedly got some monsters, like non-typical things that just look like freaks. But
at that point, I'd probably leave it up to the guide. You tell me what I need to do.
Well, see, that's kind of what I was doing. I was like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Help me, discern. But the majority of them, man, we see as many deer here in Mississippi as I probably saw. On our place.
Yeah.
There's deer. They had a ton of does, a ton of spikes. Their deer, I guess because they're used to coming to those feeders, they're not near. I've noticed since just coming back home and hunting, they're not near as jumpy. They're just not used to seeing people there because they don't mess with them.
They're not near as jumpy here or up there?
over in Texas. They weren't near as jumpy. Like our does, man, they're coming out checking the field before they ever step out.
They look in the blind.
Looking at the blind. These deer, they would walk right in front of us and didn't have a clue. Like, you could get out, and there might be one on the road where we were. It wouldn't break and run. Like ours, the least little thing, they're breaking out. So I guess the fence might, or I think it's just no contact, not being, not
no pressure.
I mean, they've designed
pressure.
I'm sure they designed those stands in that ranch to where, when you go to the stand, you're not riding through your front. And like our property, I mean, kind of hard to do that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
certain ways you can get to
Yeah,
them.
there's only certain ways you can get to it, because you don't.
The one where I shot my deer, they could see the truck part. It was a white Coyote,
really?
like 300. It wasn't even 300. It was probably maybe 200 yards down. Because I was like, man, they're looking at the truck. And he's like, yeah, but they probably ain't scared of it because
they bring in dinner.
Yeah, that probably means proteins. Yeah. But they weren't scared of it. But they only hunted, like, the guy that owned the place said he only does 5 or 6 hunts a year. So that's not much out of a hunting season.
No, not at all.
It runs from October, and some of those deer you can hunt, like the exotics, you can hunt year round. Like, they could hunt them in June, July. That's when the fallow rut is. But the whitetail rut kind of follows ours. Like, they were prime rut when we were there. So I saw all kinds of bucks chasing does and stuff. And I think what was happening with some of the bigger ones, they had them locked down, kind of like what we're seeing right now. Yeah. They were at the same kind of stage, but it was cool, man. I would definitely, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting you go into a high fence, it's going to be an operation where there's going to be other hunters there. They're going to feed you like mess hall style, and you're going to go out there and they're going to, you want to shoot old, Jerry here. He's got a 10 point. We already know what he scores, and he hangs out here.
He's going to happen to come by
at 10 o'clock. Like they were trying hard to get everybody a deer, and everybody ended up shooting one, but it wasn't like, you got it. Everybody didn't really get a trophy. I think there's a 144-inch deer killed, and there's a 139-inch deer killed. And they talk about their favorite thing, the guides and stuff. They have a big cull shoot at the end of the season, and they said that's what all their buddies get to come out, and they have a big time doing that. That sounds like that'd be fun.
When do they thin the does out, or they just?
They do. Everything? They have so many, so they do. Just like you'd have a biologist come in, they fly with a helicopter because it's so big, and they tell them about how many deer they think they have on the place and how many they should take off, like does, culls, stuff like that. Because they're trying to. I mean, I guess what the main thing with the high fence is, they're controlling what the animal eats, and they can kind of control the genetics by culling.
Yeah.
So it really works to produce these trophy animals, and that's a big business in Texas.
Yeah, it is.
But I did find out, if we could do it, I would be on board. They said the number one thing they have figured out how to change the racks is protein. It's supplemental protein feeding. Once they started giving that deer year-round as much protein as it could go, he was showing me they had racks they had found, like first rack, 1.5-year-old buck. They're 10 points. Some of them 12, 6x6, little 6x6s. They were showing me these different racks that they found from some of them. He said, this is what they should look like. If you're getting spikes or you're getting 4 points, they don't want those deer in the herd.
Yeah.
Those will be ones they'll cull out because they want that first rack on a young deer to be boss. And that's how they're getting all these monsters, is they keep putting the protein to them. And they had racks like at the hacienda we stayed in from every stage where you could see like this is a, first year, 1.5-year-old buck, 2.5-year-old buck, 3.5-year-old buck, all the way up. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
I wonder how bad they had to thin those deer out.
I don't know what numbers see that would be like how many, I guess you would have to know how much protein how much food was available for them, and water, because water's a big thing there too. But you could only support so many with what you're doing. I did hear him say that the protein in corn bill is like $120,000.
Ooh.
And that's why he does 5 or 6 hunts. He says those 5 or 6 hunts cover his protein and corn, and you don't have to worry about, he's got his version of Rip there running the show.
Oh yeah.
I asked him to see his brand.
He didn't have one.
Yeah, he didn't show it to me.
Thank God he didn't take nobody to the train station.
Oh, he said you don't want to go to the train station here. He told me that. I said, I believe it. You get lost quick. But they got a bad hog problem. So they told us, if you want to shoot hogs, please do. And I was like, so as soon as I got my 2 deer, I went on mission killing hogs. I killed a couple of them. I think 3 total.
So with the high fence, that's what I was going to kind of ask you I guess they still have hog issue. They still have predator issue.
So the problem is things constantly get in that fence. And so they're having to, I mean, and you can imagine, I really don't know how they do it. Because these fences, like one fence that I saw, like way off in the distance, goes up on the side of a mountain. And so there wasn't and they said you got to ride the fence and constantly be mending it and stuff. They had I saw some snares. Oh, they had some of these traps, like they would say, don't go in this area. It was like cyanide traps. And they're made to where, I guess, the coyotes or whatever get in it. And they have to pull on the bait station, and it blows cyanide right in their nose and kills them like almost instantly. They say I didn't see one. I didn't see one because they said if you see these tags, it says it on there, cyanide trap in the area. But I saw snares like on the fence where because one guy drove us around, kind of showed us a little bit of the one side of the fence area because I was real curious on how it worked. But you could always see like where stuff had dug under it. And they said all it takes is for a hog or a coyote or something to start a dig under it, and then the rain, and you know how water does, it just runs, and before you know it, if you don't fix it, you've got something that a deer could get under if they wanted to. But so yeah, it's a big problem. Coyotes was a big problem. They said if you shoot a deer and we don't find it, the coyotes will get it that night. And I did hear a bunch of them. They, and I guess the pigs are the same way. They can't kill them out, even though it's fenced. There's no way to stop them. And I mean, when I talk about hogs, and there was one time, I don't know, it was before I was killing the pigs. There were one of the feeders went off, and about 30, I heard a 30 come busting in. I was like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like that. Yeah.
They reproduce really fast.
Yeah.
Super fast.
I have big litters too. It's not
they said the only way to get kicked out of this place, the dude told us when we got there, is if you see a mountain lion and you don't shoot at it, we're going to escort you off, because I guess those things, I mean, you got to think, a big cat like that takes down one of his animals. That could be a $10,000 animal.
Yeah, because that animal,
and they would eat one every day. So
it's about the size of the same weight as a deer.
Oh yeah,
those mountain lions are over 100.
And they said they definitely have some in there, and I was hoping to see one of them.
That would be a taxidermist bill there, wouldn't it?
Heck yeah. I don't know what my taxidermy bill is going to be on these two. These two I got over in Texas now.
How does that happen? How do you get it back? They like boxing.
So they gave us our choice. They could kind of like you said your guy did. They can do the dimensions and cape it all the way out, and you get the skull plate and horns and bring it back to our taxidermist. Or they had one of the guides had a guy that he goes to African hunts, and that's who does a lot of their exotic mounts. And he said they could do it over there. So I said, and they'll crate it up and ship it all to us once it gets done. So
that'll be exciting. You get to track a number.
It'll be a year though before I see those animals.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, but I'm excited about getting them back. I got a spot for that fallow deer in camp, putting in the bedroom over the bed.
Well, before we get too long-winded, what we got, Mikey?
Man,
yeah, what's today's topic?
Man, we about to burn it up on good stuff.
No, we're about to burn our time up. So this week's topic, I'm not seeing deer, so what can I do? What can you do to kind of change your situation?
And it's not that we haven't been seeing deer, but the last 2 weeks, it's like you threw a brakes on what we're seeing on
activity's definitely slow. Everybody I've talked to said activity slowed down on their place.
Well, we had that bad weather come in. I caught it just in time because, like, once I left town, it started raining and warmed up. And it was like, what was the temperatures? Like in the mid-60s?
Oh, yeah.
And then rain.
Muggy, foggy.
We had one day it was might near 80 degrees.
Winds out of the south, which is always horrible for us.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of different variables there to make you not see deer anymore, different phases of the rut, and, it may be pressure or something like that. But, we've all experienced that on different hunting properties and things like that. So, what's some of the things that we've done over the years to kind of change our luck or change our situation? Is it moving? Is it going to a different property, or is it just, changing your times up? That's one of the things that I think a lot of people struggle with, is they're ready to give up and just
it's so easy. And I mean, I'm guilty of, all right, my routine is get up, be in a stand by 6 o'clock, get out at 10 o'clock, go eat lunch, come back. And then deer catch on that routine too. And that's part of why you're not seeing them. It's like you said, went out at.
That's why I switched.
I mean, everybody thinks, man, you didn't go hunting this morning? Well, that staying in the head and going out at lunchtime might be the ticket.
That's worked for me a bunch of times.
I mean, it's just like last week when I guess it was Friday for our Christmas party. I went down there hunting Friday morning, and it was 2 o'clock, and I still could not get out of the stand for the deer. Yeah. I got there early and, sit there from dark, or from daylight. But, I mean, I was like, all right, I'm going to sit here 10 more minutes. Deer would walk out. And they'd get off the field. I was like, I'll sit here a few more minutes before I got – because, I mean, I was trying to get home to get ready for the Christmas party. And I was like, well, I'll sit here a few more minutes. Another deer walk out. And I finally texted. I was like, I can't get out of the stand. Like, it was – we was 1 o'clock and deer were just steadily flocking to the field chasing does, which that's rut activity. And, you know, that's really not something you can base – I mean, that's really inconsistent. Because you have no idea what – during the rut, I mean, they're acting way different than they do any other time of the year.
Oh, I love it, though.
Oh, it's great.
You know, it's fun to see a field full of does feeding and you see a buck cruise through. But when they're keeping them run off the plots, and that's what's happening. The bucks are trying to lock them down now. So the does that we had that would come out there and feed regularly, and you'd see a bunch of them, they're spread out. They've done right broke. So I noticed this the other morning we were out there. There was 2 or 3 little ones. This is different times. I would see one little one, but I've already seen a buck chasing the mama away. And the little ones don't know what to do, so they just kind of hang out where they get left.
Yeah.
And then the mama usually comes back. That's why when I see a buck chasing, I don't think, man, and he blows out, I say, don't get down, because that don't mean he ain't circling back. Because a lot of time that mama's coming back to where she left that little one at least to check. That buck's going to be right in behind her. But I've noticed that, like the food plots, the deer aren't coming out to them.
They're not feeding the plots.
Yeah, not like they were.
And I guess it was Sunday evening we hunted. That was the first time I've seen a buck that routinely checked every plot on our property, and we had it like clockwork.
You did it 2 days in a row.
Yeah, so like I've seen that buck multiple times. I got him on footage, and he's a very, very good 8-point. I mean, beautiful, beautiful rack, heavy horn. Malcom texted me, said 8-point just come across, and they don't even stop to even put their nose to the ground. They just look down the plot.
Yeah,
keep rolling.
Yep.
He went from Malcolm's stand straight to where I was hunting, which is probably, what do you say, about 300 yards?
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there within
the ditch.
Yeah, he was there within 5 minutes. Done the same thing to me. He crossed the one plot I was sitting on, looked down it, kept on. I mean, never quit walking. Got to the fence line, made a 90-degree turn, got on the road, went all the way, and he circled the whole property. He went to Wayland.
Yeah.
And he didn't care nothing about it. It don't matter if you had piled of corn out there. He don't care what's out there.
To eat. He's looking for one thing.
But do you think if you fed him, throwed bait down, track does, do you think it'd
He was not stopping.
It's going. If you pull the does to you, the bucks are coming.
Yeah.
That's what I like about this time of year is if you can find where you got bait. If you got does, you got bait until they get bred. But these few weeks here are special because every buck's going to be out looking. And the big ones are going to lock them one down. And they're going to stay with them, too. And that's one reason why you say you don't see none. Well, those bucks are staying, and they're pinning those does down, and they're not letting them come out in the open and letting them get with the other does and stuff. They're kind of cutting them off.
And see, too, I mean, this isn't, I guess, kind of getting off subject because this isn't talking about a slow time for us, but right now, especially on, like, our property, like a lot of people think, well, I just got 70 acres or 50 acres or whatever. During the rut, you're not hunting your deer. You're hunting every buck within 5 miles.
I saw 3 the other morning, and I don't think we got pictures of.
Yeah. I mean, you throw it out the window. You're not going to see the deer that you've been seeing all fall. You know, you're going to have new bucks show up unless you just happen to miss it, but they're coming across your property. And that's another thing is like, you don't know what to expect. Just like that deer you seen, we hadn't seen that. What did you say? It had 6 on one side, 4 on another. We ain't got a single picture of him. So, I mean, who knows what you're going to see? You really don't know.
So if you're not seeing deer, what are you going to do?
I'm going to the thicket. It's just like the other day. We noticed them deer doing a different route out of Heartbreak and took a ground blind, go set it up, set in a different spot, go to where you think they are. Because if they're not in the wide open, I'm going to go to a thicket.
That's one of the biggest things that I've always tried to do is, you kind of burn out your spots on the first part of the year, and especially if you're hunting a small piece of property. We're lucky enough to have 2 different farms down the road where we can change up if we need to. But, like you burn a spot out, you kind of got to find those little corridors that they done moved away from you or started traveling those, and move your stand or, sometimes it's even good just to break up the whole thing and just go somewhere else and hunt.
Well, the same thing, like you're trying to figure out them deer and their pattern. Well, they done figured your pattern out too. They know this guy's getting down at 9 o'clock and going, leaving. That's and true. They know,
Well, when you're talking about moving, and we've seen this plenty of times, you're not necessarily talking about moving far.
No, I was going to say that because I've moved.
I mean, it could be 100 yards.
Yeah, I've moved 200 yards and changed everything.
That's why I was talking about where that little arena is.
Yeah.
We got the battleground. It's not
200 yards from the stand.
If that, it's probably 100 yards.
But it's not visible.
But
you
can't
never see it.
Yeah, it's down the hill. You'd never know it. And prime example, I rode Michael down there the other day. We were going to look and see if there's any wood ducks on the pond. There was 2 bucks on the ridge, running that ridge. That's what I think what they do, they can get in these, I know this is what they do. They like to get an area where they feel safe, but they can still see the plots.
Yeah.
They can ease out on the edges. So, our normal blinds are set up to where they're just pretty much watching the plots. Well, you got to think the way those bucks are getting into those areas and that travel corridor they're taking, they're skirting the property lines a lot of time. They're staying in the thick ridges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you can move, a little bit or orient yourself to where you can see these spots. Because how many times over in plantation have y'all seen the same buck? He'll check a field 100 yards down the field, and he'll get back in the pines and come all the way down and come to the other end and check the field.
So when I hunted Friday, that's exactly what he was doing. That same buck was at the right-hand side of the field. He'd walk across it, go back in the pines, come out to the left side, go across it, come back in the pines.
Just making a big loop.
He'd done it all day.
Yeah.
But, like you were saying, moving, those pines at our place would be very, very hard to hunt because you're not going to see far at all.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you see that thicket, just like, where we used to hunt up there, up the road from the house where Daddy and them hunt, like, there was all those, like, garden and old standing thickets that you could just catch glimpses of them. And they were walking the edge of the hardwoods. They wasn't coming out in the wide open, but you're only talking about moving 100 yards, and you could see that deer. Especially if the weather's bad. I mean, it's just like us. If the weather's bad, you're going to stay in your house, kind of deal. The deer are going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They definitely play the wind. I mean, they're going to be to where they're, downwind, can smell if there's a doe or danger. They're, I don't know how much they think they smell us, but it's more at that time of year, they're trying to pick up a scent.
So have y'all watched the YouTube videos of these guys doing the deer drives and stuff like that, like over in Iowa?
Yeah, I've seen them do it. Yeah, we used to do that. Y'all ever do one?
Heck yeah!
I would probably
like when it got slow, like this time of the year, and it just got dead. I may not do it on my prime hunting spot, but I go somewhere else and I may have
somebody else's prime hunting spot.
Well, we always did it on government land. We picked a rainy day where the deer, you didn't think they'd be moving.
Yeah.
And they might, and we'd walk through there, we'd spread out and pick up sticks and throw them, try to make noise. And you'd jump a deer up from a brush pile. You never knew what was going to pop out,
See, that's what we always did because, I used to have several thousand acres down in the Delta that I could hunt. And one of the 300-acre plots was kind of our prime core place to deer hunt, and when it went dry over there, I didn't really want to hunt that, but I would go find some of these ditches and stuff and, man, walking those old grown-up grass ditches and stuff where they're sitting out in the, wide open field and trying to bust them out like rabbits. We went down to that place y'all talked about last week that I had, Alligator, Mississippi. We used to go down there rabbit hunting. That was one of my prime spots. Like when my place went dry, I'm fixing to go down there and I'm fixing to start kicking out deer.
See what you can pop out?
Yeah.
Would y'all stage up shooters?
So, no,
some people,
usually it was just me and one other guy or maybe one, it was a small group and that place was laid out well enough to where I could put a guy in a stand at the end. And we did this several times, but one time in particular, I put this guy in a tripod stand out there because there's no trees out there really.
It's all CRP stuff.
Yeah, CRP and little small,
it looked
12-foot tall oak trees. You can't really put a stand in there. So we had tripods out there. And it was just strictly for doing deer drives. So I would go upwind and come back around, let my scent blow through that thicket and start walking. So I took this one guy with me. He was like, man, we ain't seen no deer. Do you want to go do a deer drive on my place? No, I got a good place we can go. So I take this guy down to Alligator, Mississippi, put him in the stand. And he's got one of those single shot guns like you got.
Encore.
He's got a 300 Magnum Encore. And I said, how many shells you got? He said, well, I got 5 or 6 shells here. And I was like, if you want to take my rifle, take mine. I got, it's a bolt action. And he was like, no, I'd rather shoot mine. I said, okay, I'm going to start up here. And I'm going to walk down to you real slow. I'm just going to let my wind blow down through there and just barely bump them, So I walk in the woods or walk in the CRP, and I ain't in there in no time. I never see these deer get up. They smell me way off, and they get up and just start moving. I hear him start shooting, pow, pow. I'm steadily just walking down through there, pow, and I hear him holler, "You got to slow down. I can't shoot him fast enough."
How many did he shoot?
He run out of shells. I got up there and he had 3 deer down. I said, man, you ain't supposed to shoot that many. He had a buck and 2 does.
He was stacking them up like cordwood.
He was like, you got to slow down, man. You walking too fast. I said, I wasn't walking fast. I said, just man, these things in here thick like rabbits. Yeah. They had found that area. You know, it was the only thicket in there, and they had just locked in that thicket. I don't know how many. He said there was 30, 40 deer come out of that one 70-acre, 80-acre block of CRP.
Yeah, dang.
They were just thick.
They were congregated.
Yeah, it was unreal. Like, I never seen deer down there, but the rabbits. Like when I said last week, once you jumped a rabbit, you didn't move. That's a fact. Like you stayed right there because you was finna jump another one if you took another step.
But if you got, if you get bored, the main thing is don't get frustrated when you're hunting. If you ain't seeing deer, break it up, do something else. Sometimes we'll go duck hunting or squirrel hunting or something like that. And
change tactics.
Get your mind off the deer because you start trying too hard, it ain't no fun no more.
Well, that's gonna let pressure get off it. If you only got 40, 50 acres, right. That'll get the pressure off of it.
You give them a little bit of time, and it's good to cure up a place where you've got. It may not be ideal for a stand hunting or something like that, but you get these little pockets of CRP or these grown-up fields and stuff like that where you can go, rabbit hunting or you can go kick deer off of them or something like that.
Jamie, you used to belong to a club that run dogs, didn't you?
Yeah.
So that's a lot similar to drives, just more high speed and bigger, cover more ground, right?
Yeah, we had like a little over 6,000 acres, I believe what it was. And
how would y'all do that? So actually that season, like there's first dog season and then it kicks in primitive weapon, which we're in now, and then the second dog season will kick in.
Yeah, usually you kick up. I won't say like around Christmas time.
They would say it's
about this time.
Right, they would claim. But
now running dogs is fun. It's now it's so high tech. You can run trackers, you can run GPS, so it's a whole lot easier to keep up with dogs. But we just break up in groups. We all had side by side the 4-wheelers, the trucks, and back then wasn't no cell phones. Really, everybody used CB radios. You keep up with your dogs where everybody's at. But you if you got the land, dog hunting's fun.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to have
hunters, but
I wouldn't want them running.
I wouldn't want them running
around our place.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what gives dog hunting bad reputation. You got 40 acres, your neighbor's got 1,000.
Yeah, they're going to that 1,000.
Yeah, that deer's not staying on it 40 acres, But we was lucky enough; we had enough land that you pretty much kept the dogs on your own property 90% of the time.
Most of the time, they're running paper company land or government land or something like that.
Yeah, this is all timber company we had leased. Yeah.
Well, this kind of rolls into your next little question here, but one of my things that I don't do it enough, but I always enjoy it is like take advantage of bad weather. Yeah. If it's raining or it's windy, take advantage of it. And you kind of got like, what kind of rain gear, stuff like that. But you can slip through the woods. If it's coming a hard rain, them deer ain't going to hear you. They may smell you, but you can slip through a thicket and just take your time. And who knows, you're going to walk up on one bed and they might not even get up, But take advantage of those bad weather options and get out there and just kind of see what you got. Take inventory. You may not kill a deer, but you're definitely going to, you're going to see a better idea of what you got on your property.
So I went to the government woods Saturday in that rainstorm.
That was a monsoon. That wasn't a rainstorm.
Well, yeah. So I got rain gear down here because I had a rain jacket on, but man, that monsoon. By the time I got out from hunting, my boots were full of water from it running down my ass crack. It had saturated that freaking thing, man.
Yeah.
But it was fun, like Mark said. I went to the government woods and just kind of walked around, looked, see what I see. It was, it was drizzling rain, and it was quiet, and I could slip through the woods, and it just gave me an opportunity to go do something different.
Did you see any sign or any deer or anything?
I seen some deer. Yeah. I seen a bunch of sign, a bunch of rubs and stuff like that. And also it gives you, you putting boots on the ground, so you want to go hunt that place, and you can always find, another place to hunt. Hunting government, there's a lot of good government woods around here to hunt on.
We're lucky in Mississippi that we have access to so much government land.
There's a lot that's not accessible by a public road that you can still find out there. Not going to tell you where it's at.
Yeah. Some of you need a boat. Huh?
Yeah, some of you might need a boat.
But it's always fun to be able to go. If you don't want to mess up your core place, you find some government land or something like that to go hunt and, walk around on, and, either squirrel hunt or duck hunt or deer hunt or something like that, and that stuff's out there for, us to use, and Rob and them do a great job, managing that area around the lakes and stuff like that. And, it's a lot of good hunting in that government woods, and people don't take advantage of it.
Well, what did we eat good this weekend?
Man, you had a Christmas party. Where'd you cook a strip loin?
Yeah.
Smoked strip loin?
I cooked it was a prime grade strip loin. I cooked at a Christmas party, and we'd kind of done it up like prime rib,
That ain't the important part. The important part is you brought it to camp, the leftovers.
So we brought leftovers, and
I tried to keep them having leftovers. I think I went back twice.
Hey, they put a dent in it. That was a big old strip loin, and it wasn't. I had one little gallon sack full of it, but I guess it was Sunday night, and me and Malcom was trying to figure out. Everybody else didn't want home. It was just me and him at camp. We were going to try to figure out what we had to eat. And
hey, again, me and Mikey show up to work Monday morning.
Yep.
I'm
my boss said
I didn't get
that text message. I didn't get that text message.
Like,
look
at the handbook where it says you don't work between hunt and deer season.
January 18th.
From about November 15th to the end of January.
I didn't get that text.
I got
You're supposed to be in the
said,
mobile office. As long as you got your computer with us, I got good internet at camp.
We got a company lunch Thursday, and it's over with for me.
Yeah. I was basically said I'd be wrote up if I didn't come down there. So I was like, well, I better do my duties. But
we got some content.
Yeah, we got content. Got some good content. And got down there anyways. We trying to figure out what we're going to do. And we had rice. We didn't have no potatoes. We didn't have no milk. We had onion. We had one onion. So we ended up, I cut that strip loin up and left the fat on it, put it in a skillet, and just started browning it, kind of making, I don't know, just good fried beef, basically what it boiled down to.
Some gree in the pan.
Yep. And then threw the onions on top of it, and threw a stick of butter and started making gravy and let it all come together.
Added some
flour. Let it reduce down, and we let it simmer about 30, 45 minutes.
Beef broth and then can of cream and mushroom soup.
You're supposed to give the full recipe.
And I cooked some rice.
Yeah. No, the rice maker cooked rice. I ain't never seen a person more in love with a rice machine.
I know it. He got aggravated with me. I had minute rice. I was just going to put it in the pot, cooking. Yeah. Let me get my rice maker out. Rice
maker's automatic. It don't miss. It don't miss.
It's good. It does make good rice.
But anyways, we basically took basically like a prime rib and reheated in a skillet, turned it into a gravy, put it over a bed of rice, and it was pretty dang
fantastic.
Good. It was very good.
With the glass of whiskey, it tasted mighty good.
Mighty tasty. What'd y'all have cooked this weekend, or what'd y'all eat down there this weekend?
Man, we had brisket, we had pork steak, chili, vegetable soup.
Dang, y'all was eating.
You do not go hungry at this hunt.
So who's doing all the cooking?
That's what I said.
Miss Lisa Riley, and she got some ladies in the kitchen. I don't remember all their names, but yeah, they cook a lot there. We had some people donate some stuff, and then
Is she making biscuits or cornbread or anything?
So it's kind of she makes some. I'm not a cornbread guy, but that jalapeno cornbread somebody made, yeah, that was money. It was real good. But it's Sam sells biscuits that
they got Mary B's and they got some Pillsbury that are pre-cooked.
Well, these are kind of similar. I think they get them at Super Low, and man, they're pretty much
they're good.
They're very, very good.
Warm them up.
Yeah, these are very good biscuits.
I tell you, this kind of relates to food. We got very lucky last week, very lucky, because I guess you were. You had just got back from Texas, and I ran down there one morning, and I was going to hunt and walked into camp. I said, well, I just had that feeling to step in the house real quick, and the freezer door was open.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
How long?
It was blood on the floor.
Oh, God.
It was. You didn't hear about this, did you?
No.
Oh, yeah. So I walk in the laundry room or the utility room right there, and sure enough, there's blood in the floor, and I see the freezer door cracked on about 1 inch is all it was. But everything was still cold. Only a few things were defrosted. Everything that was in the freezer was still froze. It hadn't defrosted. Freezer was still running. And I don't know, because I looked, and nothing pushed that door open. And that's the set.
Anything failed.
Nothing fell. And, we got we got one up here at the office just like it. Both freezers have done that.
You did order a freezer door lock.
It's already on us. That's what I was going to get into.
Well, I thawed out some steaks and cooked them out of it, and they were fine. There was nothing.
I opened it up and checked it. It was one bag at the bottom that was a whole hindquarter. A bone had poked a hole in a vacuum seal bag.
Yeah.
And it had thawed just a little bit, so it leaked blood. But everything was still ice cold, and most of it was still frosty. Only a couple of them were thawed 100%. But I just closed the door back, went hunt and come back, cleaned everything up. But
that's the downside of having an upright freezer. Man.
Yeah.
You better get a lock for it.
Amazon sells them for about $10, a little plastic glue-on lock, and it works like a champ.
You remember that? Was it Myron?
No,
Byron, North Central, and them. They had a camp, and their freezer went out, or they left it open, or something like that.
The power went out, and they wasn't over there all the time. The power tree fell on line, knocked the power out.
It fell on just their line, so nobody else on the line company. Everybody else had power. Just their cabin was out.
Oh, man.
So Byron said he pulled up to the camp, and he said there was 9,000 buzzards sitting on the peak of the roof.
Oh, man. Something was dead in there.
So they had I think it was like a cinder block building on concrete.
Yeah,
it got in the concrete so bad you couldn't get the smell.
Even the furniture, he said mattresses that was in not even in the room with. They had to burn them. It smelled so bad.
Contamination.
It was bad.
Shoot, I
he said
over.
I mean, it was years later. If it was, you know how a house gets like damp outside, he said when it got damp outside, that smell come back up through the floor.
I was when I
opened all the animals.
That is a terrible.
It is. That's the worst smell ever.
When I opened that door and I seen that, I was like, man, this finna be bad.
Yeah.
I was like, man, please just. And luckily, it was fine. I mean, we got very, very lucky when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah.
Malcom,
oh yeah, I'd have been so upset.
You was pretty upset when I called because I called you and said, well, I got some good news, I got some bad news, and I was like, I don't think the bad news is that bad, and I told you, and yeah, the words you used next were not podcast approved. It was not good.
I can still smell those shrimp from the one in the shop.
Luckily, we don't.
It'll make you
catfish in there, but I don't know. It had zero. I mean, everything looked fine. I think it was cold enough. What I think happened was the power went off down there, one of those storms. And didn't you read something about it? The refrigerator or pressurized
I don't know what.
I
can't remember what brand freezer this was, but there's several articles about it. And I don't know if it's a recall or complaints, but like if the freezer loses power, it does something, I guess, with the compressor that the door, you know how they'll suck shut? Right. It loses suction and it opens. Like you barely touch it, it'll open.
Oh, crap.
Because you said it didn't look like anything fell.
No, nothing fell. Yeah. It was fine. Nothing was touching the door.
I'll put a ratchet strap.
Yeah, something.
You say that is you do not want that going bad. Not in that house.
No,
it'd ruin the whole thing.
We just need to get down there and cook some more, and make room. What we need to do.
Yeah. I need to get a chest freezer.
Yeah, we got a bunch of. You said we got stuff to finish out the pork sauce or summer sauce and get all that done?
Yeah. I brought my mom sent a bunch of that hog they killed. It's good looking pork fat. I put it down in the freezer. I didn't put it in the deep freezer. I put it in the other freezer, but I've got that. I've got meat ready cut up to make summer sausage and snack sticks with, and plan on doing all that probably this week.
Time to put meat you're making to work.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll make some this weekend.
Yeah, I want to. I definitely want to.
As soon as I get this catering gig done on Thursday, game on.
Yeah.
I'm away message for the rest of the year.
That's right.
My weekend shot again already.
Yours is?
Yeah, what are you, Jamie?
You're not hunting this weekend either?
If I'm capable, yes.
What are you doing?
I gotta go have surgery and get a wisdom teeth.
Oh, that's 30 minutes.
Yeah, you'll be good.
They give you pain.
They give me a pain
hydrocodone and a 300 mag. Good to go.
Give you a little bit of whiskey and you can sit up there. You'll be fine.
I told Melissa
What day are they doing that?
Thursday.
Oh yeah, you'll be good to go Friday then.
Hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna slip back for a Christmas party.
I had 2 or 3 pulled.
Friday night I got a Christmas party. I'm gonna slip in, slip out, and back at it.
Yeah. Oh, you got a party Friday night too? I'm done with parties, man.
I'm done. I'm no more.
I'm
sorry if anybody's got a party going on. I'm not gonna be there. I already told Melissa don't expect me back till Christmas Eve.
Well, besides deer camp, where can everybody find us at?
Man, y'all can find us on all the podcast platforms. Y'all give us a listen. Of course, we're on YouTube, TikTok. Keep a follow with us on Facebook. We try to post everything that we have going on to keep y'all informed. Y'all check it out. We got some good content coming out. So if y'all got any questions, let us know.
Check out the website.
Yep.
New Buck Junkies hat.
Y'all all got on hat. Jamie, you got on the different one. I like that one too.
Yeah.
We got the hoodies. We got the beanies. We got the T-shirts. So if y'all want to support us here at Buck Junkies, we appreciate it. Or just look cool.
Me and Mike done a little modeling yesterday.
Yeah, we did some modeling.
Are the T-shirts up on the site yet?
In the works.
We're working on it. Got to get pictures on there.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody hanging in here with us today, and we'll be back. I guess we'll be back. Well, we're going to see.
We might have to do one from the camp.
Yeah, because it's going to be hard hunting the next few weeks, and we got Christmas coming up. So
all right,
I ain't saying we won't. We will be, but I ain't saying we won't be back.
That's official. We're off work, Mikey.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, we appreciate it, everybody. We'll see y'all next time. We're gone.